As COVID-19 cases continue to surge and as protests have erupted around the world in solidarity against racism and inequality, the Black Lives Matter movement is a perfect case study of how we can work to create massive social change across the three pillars of activism. My name is Evan Wiley, and this is the third installment of the Great Pause video series by HackHumanity. Joanna Macy created the Three Pillars as a visionary model for change that integrates holding actions, shifts in consciousness, and root systems change. Black Lives Matter began as a movement within the holding actions pillar, which is about demanding an immediate stop to police brutality and murder against Black people with impunity, not only in the United States but around the world. But unlike some other protest movements in the past, BLM is going further by successfully crossing over into the other two pillars. Within the shifts in consciousness pillar, the defund the police demands are bringing about massive inquiry into the role of police as a centralized institution in societies all over the world. People everywhere are learning that police forces are a relatively modern invention, and one that was always more about controlling oppressed people, crowds, and slaves than it was about protecting regular citizens. People are starting to see that we have offloaded our collective responsibilities for social care to those who create and enforce laws, people who are not trained in the areas of human wellness. This is not necessarily the fault of police or politicians, since it is merely the nature of self-interested systems to become self-perpetuating institutions, if allowed the space, power, and money to do so. It is the proverbial saying, if the only tool you have is a hammer, then all problems look like a nail. They are literally fighting symptoms over and over again with hammers and brute force. The idea of defunding the police is about the act of replacing hammers with other tools in our toolbox that more effectively and humanely address the root causes. Within the systems change pillar, when the root economic causes of inequality and racism are addressed and we provide for people's basic needs like food, water, shelter, health, and safety, there will be fewer instances of violence in the first place. On top of that, if we shift funding away from militarizing the police, from the over-budgeted military forces, and from the corrupt prison system, all of which are a part of what you might call the military-industrial prison complex, then meeting people's basic needs will be far more affordable and effective. This is what Black Lives Matter has proposed, that racism is systemic, and the solution must also be systemic, namely in the form of robust social programs and preventative measures that address the root causes. It became a systems change when it was no longer about reforming law enforcement and instead about removing law enforcement from the equation altogether. If more nonprofits and activist groups around the world addressed the systems instead of the symptoms, then what they would find is that the underlying causes are one and the same. This is why HackHumanity is working to unify these global efforts under what it is calling the Superordinate Goal, to meet the basic material and safety needs of everyone, regardless of their color, class, or creed. Transition tactics like a universal basic income, which relieve the oppressive economic status quo, along with entirely new alternative systems, such as an open access economy, can help us realize this superordinate goal. This is the massive systems change that Black Lives Matter is literally helping to bring about now, as city governments everywhere are deliberating the possibility of defunding the police or abolishing the police altogether in favor of building communities that prioritize the well-being and safety of all.
My name is Robert Schram.
My name is Troy Wiley, and we are with HackHumanity, an action network by World Summit and Envienta. The Black Lives Matter movement is indeed changing the world. They are effectively bringing about radical, overdue changes in all three pillars. Now we need to just emulate that with all the other social and environmental justice movements around the world.
Imagine all of these groups becoming peaceful warriors or protectors to declare and enact coordinated action. This is humanity's moonshot, the phase shift to an incredible new era for humanity.
It is time now for us all to move from the great pause to the great action, to bring about humanity's phase shift to a much better world that works for everyone. It is time to hack humanity.
We cannot ignore the suffering that people all over the world are going through, not only because of COVID-19, but because of our outdated operating system. To secure the well-being and safety of everyone, we are doing things now. It is time more than ever to make a difference and be the difference. To learn more about the 3 pillars, the Superordinate Goal, as well as HackHumanity's transition tactics and alternative systems, visit our website and Facebook group. Get involved, take action, and hack humanity.